Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, we're out here in the garage again this afternoon, and what we're going to be doing today in this video is we're going to be working on this 2012 20 horsepower Tohatsu engine. We're going to put a new water pump impeller in it. We have not put one in it since it was new, 6 years, but it's only been in fresh water used sparingly. But this time I noticed that the little indicator P hole here, that it's not moving water like it once did. So it's definitely getting weak, and it's time to replace it. We're also going to change the oil and filter on the engine, and we're going to check the oil in the lower unit, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So let me get my tools out, and we'll get this thing apart. All right, guys, we're going to take this lower unit off right here, okay? And it's really held on with just 4 bolts, that's it. But the first thing you have to do is unloosen this shifter linkage that's here. So what we got to do is I'm going to break this jam nut loose, and then I'm going to screw up on this coupling nut until it releases from this lower rod. And then when we take the 4 bolts out and let the unit down, then this little jam nut here, we have to screw it off. Now, all right, guys, let's get in here with some 8mm wrenches, and we're going to get this broke loose, okay? Alright, so I raised the engine up just to kind of make it more convenient to get to. And so when I take these 4 nuts off, there's 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, 2 on the other side, just like this. This thing should come right off. And I love this design. You know, in years past, you know, the old boat engines and stuff, they just had long bolts going up in here, and they would get galled up and, you know, get covered in corrosion. It'd always be aluminum with a stainless steel bolt up in it or something, and it would just get galled in there, okay? And a lot of times when you take the bolt out, you bring the threads with it, okay? But I gotta give Tohatsu credit. They've got studs up in here with a nut on it. So this thing, you just knock these nuts off, and this thing should slide right off. All right, so I got a 13mm wrench. We're gonna knock these things off. Look at that. All right, try it loose. Alright, so I've got all the nuts off of it. You can see it's already, look at that. There it is. Just like that. There it is. She's off. Alright, so let's take it over here to the workbench so we can kind of get a better look at it. So what I'm going to do now is the water pump impeller lives right in here. And I'm going to go get my little 10mm wrench, take these 3 screws here out, lift this off, and let's check out the impeller. Alright, let's see what we got in here. Alright, so here we go. Here's the little key that holds the impeller on. And so the impeller is in here. We need to pop this little metal cover here off. And there's our impeller. Alright, so let me get the new impeller and bring over here. Alright, here's our new impeller. The old one. And the new one. So, all right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to try to get this inside this, all right? I'm going to put it on the shaft with some grease on the keyway, and I'm also going to smear some grease on the impeller itself, okay? I mean, I don't ever recommend putting these things in dry. I always smear a little bit of grease around it, Vaseline or something. In fact, I'll probably get the Vaseline and put on it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this little metal piece right here. It's got to go on first. Make sure you got it turned the right way, all right? You'll see, like right here, you can see where the impeller's been rubbing on it. So make sure that's up. Lay that down on there like so. Next, take you some grease, and I'm just going to use the petroleum jelly, the Vaseline, because that's what I'm using on the impeller. Put my keyway in, just like so. Alright, you can see that? And the Vaseline just, you know, keeps that in place. Now I'm going to take the impeller and I'm going to put some Vaseline on it. Slide this down on here. Alright, so there it is. So you notice, see, I greased the bottom of it because it would lay on that metal plate. Alright, now, this is the tricky part. So now you have to remember that the engine on your boat is turning clockwise, okay? So all you gotta do is reach up here and turn the drive shaft clockwise. And just walk it down on there, just like that. You see that? I just turned the drive shaft clockwise. Alright, so now we're gonna put the bolts back in. Something I do want you to notice is right here. This is the drive spline, and I will put some regular, some good grease on this before we put it back in. This is important. You don't want this spline to take a bunch of wear. And I'm going to grease that up good right now, and then we're going to slide this drive back up in there. Alright, so I'm going to turn my drive shaft, turn my propeller, so that it rotates the drive shaft so it engages the spline. Yep, looking good. That looks good. It's all the way up. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and drain the engine oil and change the filter. So let's drain the oil out. Here's the plug right here that drains the crankcase on the Tohatsu. It's a 16mm wrench, and you just the next thing we got to do is we got to get this old oil filter out of here, okay? And you can see it's in there in a pretty little tight location, but it will come out pretty easy. Alright, so the trick to getting this thing broke loose is just get you a big pair of tongue and groove, channel lock, tight pliers, whatever. And you can just come in here real carefully, and I'll just put it on that hand tight, okay? There she is. Let's work that out of there. Alright, there it is. That's all it needs. It ain't going nowhere. And now we're going to dump the lower unit oil out of it. Make sure that it's got clean, fresh oil in it for the fishing season, okay? This is the level plug here, okay? You want to put oil into this level. Alright, so this thing's pretty well done draining, guys. Now what we're going to do is, I've got my Marine Gear Lube 80W90. Alright, so I'm going to put the plug in the top. Alright, so now I've got this tight. Now I'm going to real quickly pull this out, put that plug in. So what I do is I fill it up with oil so it squirts out the top. Then I put this screw in, finger tight. I give it one more pump, tighten it, put the plug in. That way, if I have any trouble when I, pull the oil filler out and put the plug in, that, if I lose a little bit, I'd rather be a little over than under. Alright guys, well, we're all done working on the old John boat. We've got the 20 horsepower Tohatsu ready to go, and you can see I got a big deck and all that on this boat. And hey, if enough of you want to know how I built this deck and what's in there, man, if you leave some comments, I'll do another video on that. If not, we'll forget it. Well, hey guys, I appreciate you watching this, and I hope you come back for the next video, guys.